Hey, what is up, gentlemen? Welcome back to this new tutorial. So now we're gonna be creating a variety of types of wood procedurally in Blender. So you're gonna have an understanding on how channel maps works in Blender, the base color, the roughness map, and the normal. Also, we're gonna be giving some examples so that you can understand even better. And after that, we're gonna be applying all these textures to the office scene. All right, so let's get to work. So I'd like to make some changes. So I'm gonna just join this area over here and expand the animation and switch it to the shader editor, just like this. Okay, so I'm gonna start with creating a new material. So let's call it wood number 1. So for the woods, let me explain how it works in the woods. Just would like to show you that it's built upon layers. So for example, this one, something like this. You can see that it's built upon layers. So in order to do that, we need to make it the same. So this is the principle if we want to have some realistic material. So we need to understand its nature first, and after that we need to build something that looks similar. So let me start by Shift A, start with a plane, and let's work on that plane separately. Alright, so over here let me switch to my wood table. Also let me switch to the material preview over here. So now we're going to be able to see that material. So what I'd like to do is to start with the Musgrave. I think it's a Musgrave texture. Okay, so this is the first one. I'm gonna be duplicating this one. You can put it on top of that. So creating 2 layers. 2 Musgrave gave us this layer built in. So now what I'd like to do is to increase this amount. Let me check. Yeah, I think we need to increase this one. So let's increase this one to 50. This kind of wood, it's just like expanded. So we need to do that. So for that, I'm going to be using the mapping like this, and the geometry. Texture coordinates, yeah, this one. So basically we need to rely on the UVs of our image. Yes, so basically we need to switch over to the UVs so that we can be able to see that, the UVs. So let me just reverse back to the image so that we can keep an eye on the reference. So I'd like to connect these UVs to the vector like this, and the vector to the vector. So over here on the x-axis, I'd like to expand it. So by simply reducing its amount to something like 2.25, or even down, consider 2.1. You can see that we start to see some nice result like this. Okay, so that's the first step. So what I'd like to do next is to add some noise. So for that, I'm gonna just take these to the left. Let's add the noise texture over here, Shift A, and let's use the mix RGB. Put it on top of that line, and let's connect the color to the color like this. Okay, let's see. Yes, we can see that mix of color, but we don't want to have these green, blue, and color. So for that, I'm gonna be using the color ramp, so that we can have control over the coloring this noisy details. Okay, so I can see that. Also over here, I'd like to increase the details to 16. What about the roughness? Let's take it to 1. Now you can see that we have these nice details. Also, what I'd like to do is to increase the amount of the noise. So let's set it, for example, to 0.8. 0.8 is fine, yeah. So as you can see now, it starts to look like wood. Well, I think 0.75 will be good. Nice. Okay, so the next step that I'd like to do is to give it some color. So again, let's use the color ramp. Put it on top of that, and let's change its color so that it can match our table. So as you can see, what we have over here, we have two colors. One is brown, dark brown. Can pick it from this dot over here, and the second one is a light brown. Can pick it, for example, from here. Let's make it close to each another, something like this. But also let me add, so control click over here. Also I forgot to add the screen cascades. So for this one, let's make it darker a little bit. Yeah, something like this. Now it looks like wood. It looks pretty much interesting. So that's the first layer. So what we need to do next is to work on the roughness. So the roughness over here. So the roughness, if we put it to 0, it's gonna be pure glossy. If we put it to 1, it's gonna be pure rough. Rough means no, it's one's gonna catch any reflection. So what we need to do instead is to give it some variety. So for that I'm going to be using a map from here. But before that I would like to explain something. So let me connect this one to the base color. And let me show you what we got over here. Also let's use another example. Go over here and let's use, for example, some noise texture. Just would like to explain this one so that you can understand it. So let's connect this one to the base color. Let's use the color ramp, put it on top of that, and let me make these close to each other so that we can have sharp edges, just like that. Okay, so now it's gonna be really obvious. So this is how the roughness map works. So basically the black spots, it's gonna be pure glossy, and the white spots gonna be rough. So this is how it works. So the areas, if you have a gray area like this, so on the edges it's gonna be glossy, over here it's gonna be rough. So check this out. If I connect this one to the roughness, so let's wait for it. So there we go. So you can see it. So these spots over here that are white, they are rough, and the other spots are glossy. You can also revert that. So basically this is how it works. So what I'd like to do over here, I'm gonna just remove those, connect this one back. Well, first let me check this map first. So this is what we got as a roughness. As you can see, it's not that clear, so we can add over here the color ramp and do the same thing, which is to make it sharper a little bit. Can make these close just to see what we got. I think it looks good. You can see the amount of details that we have. So also we must bake these textures because they will take a lot of resources. But instead of using this one, I'm thinking, yeah, basically this one is just a noise. So we must actually use this one. Let's connect this one. Pretty much good. But I think it's gonna be pure. It's gonna be we're gonna be having a lot of glossiness. So let's give it something like this. Also for the white color, let's make it a bit gray, because I believe our table is a little bit glossy. Also for this, let's make it not completely black, so we must create some dark areas. So let's connect this one to the roughness and let's see what we got. Yeah, I like it, but it looks more glossy, so let's just make it less glossy. Perfect. Okay, so let's use this one. Let's connect this one back to the base color and let's check how it went with the color. I think it looks good. Alright, so the next step is to work on the bumps. So we need to add some bumps, obviously. So it's pretty straightforward. So Shift A, add the bump. As you can see, the temperature is going up. So let me simply connect this one to the height. Connect the normal to the normal. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's wait for the shaders compilation. Yeah, now we got it. But as you can see, the bumps are crazy high, so we must reduce it down to something like 1/10. Yep, something like this. It looks really nice. Also, I'd like to do something else, which is to add some subdivisions to these. It looks pretty much organic. Not organic, it looks, yeah. So I'm gonna revert back to the mouse graph over here, and we can, for example, increase the details. Not the first details, but this one. Yeah, what about 16, 14? Yeah, as you can see, we have some distortion over here. What about the dimensions? Just playing with this one to see what we got. But actually, I don't like to keep it at 14. What about just 10? Let's reduce it a bit down. What about 5? 3? Yeah, 3 is fine. Okay, so that's it for the first this first wood. So let's create the second one. It's gonna be this type. So I'm gonna duplicate this one, move it to the side, and I'm gonna be duplicating this material also. So over here you can see that new material. Simply click on it, and let's create over here wood number 2. And for the name, let's give it walls. Wood for the walls. So I'm gonna simply jump into the colors and let's make some variations. So as you can see, it's glossy, more glossy. You can see the reflection of the library on it. So let's make, for example, Okay, and what about copying just this color? Okay, copying that color over there. Same thing for this one, let's just copy this color. Nope, I don't like it. This one, let's make it, for example, even darker. Okay, but it must not be that obvious. Something, not sure what, to be honest. Let's just reduce that amount of the details. Let's make it just 2. We'll see when we apply it. We'll see. I think also for the strength, let's reduce it down to something like 0.05. Just 0.1. No, 0.5 is fine. We'll see how it's gonna be turning out when we apply everything to the walls. So this is the first one, this is the second one. The third one's gonna be on the roof. You can see it's like lines. Okay, so I'm gonna just duplicate this one, move it over here, duplicate that material again, and let's call it tree, roof, wall, not wall but wood. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my this scale over there. I'm gonna try to reduce that scale. What about setting it to 0 just to see? Yeah, now it looks similar to this one, except the colors, of course. So let's work on the colors. So we have the black, the dark, this one, we got it. This one, let's copy, for example, this material from here. Let's see how to combine all those 3 colors, put them all together. The further we go, the less something. Nope, I'm gonna just keep trying, keep working on it until I get something interesting. You know what, let me just remove this one and start fresh. So Shift A, start with the color ramp, put it over there, and let's connect the factor to the factor, the color to the color, and let's see what we got. So basically, as I said, we must make it consist of 3 colors. So let's make this one brown like this. Second one, let's make it yellow. And the third one, we can make it just like the first one, but don't want to make it red. I want to make it brown. Actually, I'm stuck with this. Don't know the exact formula for creating something that looks like this. Let me just revert back to the previous one. I think the previous one looks better. This one. But for this color over here, let's make it okay. This one, let's make it oh man, it's hard stuff. We have some multiple lines, so what about increasing that scale to 1.5? Changing the black to some kind of yellow. We're just experimenting over here to see how it works. Maybe. Just maybe. I think we're getting closer. Let me just over here revert back to the just 0.75, which is the health. But that yellow, it's not so popular. I think I'm gonna go with this one for the roof. Yeah, there is no need to complicate it. Also, now let's work on the bottom. I believe this one works best for the bottom, not the roof. So let's just duplicate this one, change this one for wood for the bottom side. Alright, so let's call it something, or let's make it even more white. Yeah, I think this one looks similar. For the glossiness, we're going to be working on that. I think this one is pretty much glossy. Yeah, can do it right now because I can see the reflection on it. Yep, something like this. Maybe this one, let's reduce it just a tiny bit. Fine. Also over here, 25. Fine. Alright, so we got our wood. So I'm gonna just go back over here and apply each one to where it belongs. So on the back I forgot this one, but that's fine. I can simply use. So this one, what do we got? We got the wood applied over there, but first let me just apply the default material, and after that let's add the wood for the walls. So it's applied only on the wall, on the door, I see. That's fine. Switch the material to the wireframe so that you can be able to select everything. And let's select everything from here. Alright, so let's apply that as sign. Let me switch over here to the material preview. Let's see. Yeah, we forgot. I think over here, we must unwrap that. Must unwrap it in a correct way. I believe we must spin it. So I'm gonna split my scene over here, and let's switch over here to the UV editor. Also, yeah, select everything over here. Air 90 degree. But we must scale it, so let's scale it by 3. Let's see. Actually, I'm not a big fan of this one. Yeah, I think we must also apply this mapping also for the noise. So let me just connect this one to the vector, and let's see. Now it looks better some way. But also for the colors over here, I'd like to reduce the amount of the black. Or let's simply drag this one. No, actually it does not work. Let's just carry on. So let's work for the table, and we're going to be assessing the quality of the materials later on. So for the table, let's assign this one. This one looks good on the spot, I see. So let me scale, but also we must apply the vector like this to the noise. So scale Y, let's scale it by 3. Okay, and also what about scaling everything by 2? I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know how it works, to be honest. You know what, let's do this. Alt select these, Shift D, F to fill that, and let's apply to the material. Now it's better. Fine, so what's next? So we need to work on the bottom side. So for the bottom side, let's simply add this one for the bottom. Maybe let's increase by 3. It's 0 to check the bottom side. Yep, I like it. Similar to that. Okay, so what's next? So we got the roof. Yeah, this part over here on the top. So I'm gonna simply grab the inside part. Shift L to deselect the side, and let's add to it the roof. Actually, I'm pretty I like the roof. So we can from here simply R 90 degree to spin it, and basically we got it. Yes, we must only judge when we have all the detail. Okay, so that's for this tutorial. So we learned how to create the material, the wood material. So we might work on it even more in the coming tutorial. So for now, that's it for the tutorial. If you have any questions or suggestions on how to make this tutorial even better, so leave a comment down below. Thanks a lot for watching, and hope to see you in the coming tutorial. Take care.